small souls, some independence. But independence is very small. Serve me or forget me. Serve me or serve yourself. So the living entity comes to this world to try to fulfill his selfish desires to be independent of joy. So by forgetting Krishna, the soul becomes captured by illusion. So, tonight we speak something from 5th canto of the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is 12 sections. If all the Vedic scriptures are like an ocean, and the essence of that ocean is these 18,000 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like, how do you get butter out of milk? Come on. Ask your grandmother. If you churn milk, then the butter comes easily. But butter is the essence of the milk. Once you take out the butter, you can throw the rest. So in the same way, scriptures are like an ocean because they give so many different instructions. And then it's done on the same platform. How can you give one instruction for everyone? It's impossible. Like even in one school, there's so many classes. First grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. And there's so many. People have so many different temperaments, different desires, different stages, different coverings, different qualifications. The scripture gives many different instructions. So anyone, according to their qualification, can take an instruction, practice it, and go up. So, Sukadeva Goswami, who appeared 5,000 years ago, he changed the entire Vedas. He took out the essence of the Vedas, which is this 5th canto. Okay, then instruction. Present day India is called after Bharat. If you look at my money, Bharat movement. So it's named after the great king Bharat Maharaj. So his instructions were really good today. Bharat was king of the whole earth planet. He lived millions and millions of years ago in Sati Yuga. So he left everything at middle age. His renunciation is called Malabhatyaya. 2 types of renunciation. Malabhatyaya is like passing stool. When you pass stool and you flush it down the toilet, do you miss it? Such a nice stool. Where's the devil? It means when you pass stool, you feel so much relief and you never think of that thing again. So Bharat Maharaj renounced the entire kingdom. He renounced his children, wife, they're all grown up. Her life she had spent in material life. When material responsibilities are finished, one should do that last time for spiritual life. So the king left everything. How? Krishna Lalasa, had a great desire to achieve Krishna. So he went to the Himalaya, what is present day Nepal. And there was one river there called the Gandaki. It's still there. So the king, he took up residence on the bank of the Gandaki. He took bath 3 times a day. And he would observe himself in meditation on the Supreme Personality. Now, one day that he was meditating, what happened? He saw one deer being chased by a lion. What a shame Dhananjaya was not here. What a criminal he is. So the tiger was chasing the lion. The tiger was chasing the deer. She was pregnant. Therefore she was very fearful. So she was running, the tiger was chasing. When the tiger saw the king, the tiger became afraid. And the deer, she fell into the river exhausted. And she was dying, she gave birth. So king was taking bath that time the baby deer was floating in the water. So the mother deer looked towards the king and with her eyes she said, "You call yourself a saintly person? You will not have mercy on my baby?" So the king, naturally, he was affectionate to all, devotee loves everyone. Sridham Sarvabhutanam, Krishna says, "My friend is the well-wisher of everyone." Therefore he picked up the deer and took it home. God's arrangement, those small creatures are very cute. If your parents undergo so much suffering to raise them, baby pigs even, baby calves, baby horses, baby chickens, all small creatures killed. Then what to speak of baby deer, so much slaughter. So the king picked him up, took him to his ashram, and the baby deer did not know who is my mother, father, thought the king is my father. The king began feeding it fruits, bits of soft grass. Night time, the king would sleep with the baby deer because baby deer were cold. And this way the king developed so much attraction for the deer. I'm telling the story very fast because we want to get to these instructions. The king became so much attached. So when he would sit and meditate, instead of thinking of Krishna, instead of chanting the name of Krishna, he thought, where is my deer? Sometimes when the king would meditate, the baby deer would come with his soft horns and nose and touch the king. The king would stop his meditation, take the deer of his lap. And so the king became absorbed with more and more affection for the deer. So the foolish king forgot about death, and unfortunately death never forgets about us. We think of so many things, hoping death will avoid us, but death never spoils anyone. Only one thing, what you want to say? Yeah. One thing sure, everyone in this room will soon be dead. Tomorrow, next day. It is the only one thing that is certain in this life. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, along with death comes death. And along with death comes birth. So the king forgot about death, but with death never forgot about the king. Exactly at the appointed time, death came to him. At the time of death, what did the king think of? His deer. If we spend our whole lives thinking of, automatically we'll think about it at the time of death. But your mother speaking in the hospital, she says anything? What does she talk about? I want to go home. This old beauty house, clean house, looking after the guy. The time of death, you'll think of that. When unfortunately we die, we cannot take our homes with us. The king, unfortunately, at the time of death, he thought of a deer. That was his next birth. Deer. Krishna says, Yam Smarivaram Titakanti Kalevaram Tampani Vasastu Kuntiva Samata Bhadavadita. What you think at the time of death, Arjuna, will achieve that state without a doubt. I told you it was a tough class. So king entered the whole world. He gave up everything because of attachment to a deer. He took birth as a deer. But still, because he had done devotion in his life, he did not forget his past life. Only persons like us, we die, we wake up in another body, but who we were, we forget. The great souls do not forget. They're called Jatasmriti. They can remember their previous births. So King took birth as a deer, and he lamented, I am such a fool, such an idiot. I gave up my wife, gave up my children, gave up my kingdom, and became attached to a deer. Now look at me. So he will now, at birth he ran away from his mother. No, I made a mistake, we don't make two mistakes. He ran into the forest. There was one ashram of sadhus, devotees, monks. So he lived in an ashram because they're vegetarians, he had nothing to fear from them. What is the nature of saintly persons? Machita, Matkadot, Prana, Bhadayantis, Parasparam, Katam Nittas Chamam Nityam Tusanti Chari Vanticha. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, my devotees are always talking about me. They know they're attached to me. By speaking, they give others so much happiness and themselves so much happiness also. So the deer, always hearing a katha, he waited when his body will be finished. Because only a human form of life can practice spiritual life. Cats, dogs, fish, lions cannot practice. So he gave up his body, again he got the human form of birth, human form of life. But he learned his mistake. This life, no attachment to anyone or anything except Krishna. So he pretended to be dumb. How do you say in English? Retarded. basilic. But he was self-realized soul, but he was making a drama. But if anyone told him to do this, he did the exact opposite. He pretended, acted like a mad person who could not hear, could not speak. So everyone gave him the nickname Jad Bharat. Like, Jad means ignorant, stupid, slow, foolish Bharat. But he was not any of those things, he was liberated soul. So, this is my point of today's class. Just like a fire covered by ashes, Bhavad Maharaj kept his spiritual perfection hidden from the view of others. Now if someone gets a reputation as a great sacred person, so many people will come to the door, disturbing, like we hear Jesus Christ, or so many cries will be with him. So this may be a disturbance for a sacred person. So sometimes sacred persons act as if they put on some drama. Like there was one devotee in Govardhan. Somehow word spread, he was perfected being. Therefore many people started coming to his hut, asking benedictions. Like when Jesus was there, so many people said, I'm sick, I'm blind, my father died, this problem, that problem. People come hoping this saintly person will remove their material problems. They never come for spiritual advice. Last Italy festival, our Gurudev was there meeting with many people, 2 hours. And after the left, Gurudev said, one person asked me about Krishna. Or asking, my mind is very bad, my wife has given me so many problems, my children are disobedient, I have this disease, I have this financial problem. So Gurudev said, no one asked me about spiritual life for 2 hours. So that problem comes. So there's one devotee brother, I really can't afraid now, many people are coming, this will disturb me. And they're getting so many donations, but he had no need, so he collected all those donations. And in that village is one very beautiful girl. He said, all you have to do is just sit outside my hut. And when I ask, who are you? Just say, I'm just secretary. Not God will think. Personal assistant has that. So many people came, he saw, who's this beautiful young girl at his door? Who are you? I'm Bhavaji Maharaj's private secretary. I take care of all the personal details. Of course there was no relation like that, but Bhavaji Maharaj, everyone thought this Bhavaji, he's bad character. They left him inside very happy, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So sometimes some persons behave like that. So Bhavad Maharaj made that. Generally there are 2 types of perfected souls, Bhajananandi and Ghostananandi. Some preach to increase the family of Krishna, bring their souls back to him, and some souls are not concerned with that, they're just concerned with their own spiritual life, and then according to their own temper. So, Bhavad Maharaj behaved like a mad person. So one day, the king of that, now is present-day Pakistan, known as the time called Suraj Desh. The king, his name was Rahugana. Very powerful man, of course, king, politician means so much pride. He was going to the holy place of Ganga Sagar, near Calcutta, where he wanted to meet with Kapilation. He was being carried by so many slaves, esclavos. So they were carrying him, one of the carriers became sick, twisted his ankle. Then quickly they need a new spare tire, they need a new slave, someone to carry the king. So Bharat was there, this giant Bharat. He had a very big body like a bull, but he never took bath, he always slept on the ground, whatever food scraps people gave him he eat. Therefore, like a fire covered by ashes, no one could understand his position. So, but his body was very big. If we ordered him, carry the king. So Bharat didn't say anything, he began carrying the king. Materialistic persons move in one way, saintly persons move in another way. So when Bharat was walking, when there were so many ants and insects on the road, of course, how can you kill them? They are also Krishnas. But he began moving side by side. Have you heard this story? So he began moving to avoid killing the insects. When King was inside, King became very upset. Hey, what the hell are you doing? So all the other guys, the normal guys, the slaves, oh, King, please. And then you're afraid of the king. That time so much power. Life and death is in his hand. So all the minions, King, it is not our fault. It is the fault of this new man. He is not moving properly. So King became very sarcastic. Oh my dear brother, you have been carrying this, and so many sarcastic words he said. You have been carrying this palanquin for a long way. You must be very tired. You are very weak and thin, therefore you are finding so much difficulty. Oh, I think you are carrying well, but these other men are not cooperating with you. That's the problem. These other idiots are not carrying properly, but you are okay. So many sarcastic words the king spoke. Now be careful, carry properly. But Bharat did not say anything. He simply picked up. Again he began walking. And again the king became very angry. Especially someone who has power. In Australia used to be said, give a guy a uniform, he thinks he's Adolf Hitler. Gets on power, he must become proud, puffed up. My friend said that when guy came, gave us a ticket. Hey, come on, move. And my friend said, give a guy a uniform, he thinks he's Adolf Hitler. I remember that one. So King became very angry. Don't you know who I am? I'm king, and you are my servant. Therefore, if you do not carry proper definitely I will kill you. I will punish you with death. Are you mad? Despite the life in your body, I will take you, I will beat you. Many things the king threatened, I will beat you, I will kill you. Then bowed God so. He spoke to the king. O king, I am not a fool. You are a fool. Your words have no meaning. You said, I am mad, I will punish you. If I am mad, what do you mean you will punish me? Like beating a dead horse, there is no value at all. But the king, your words are foolish. You said, I am very tired, I have carried the palanquin a long way. I am very weak and thin, therefore I am experiencing much difficulty. But king, you should know that I am not weak, I am not fat, I am not thin, I am not malnourished, I am not strong, I am not weak, I am not this body. Therefore, this journey has nothing to do with me. I am not carrying any palanquin. I am not walking anywhere. Only this body is carrying a load. This body is moving. This body is experiencing happiness, distress, hunger, thirst, pleasure, pains, waking and dreaming state, hot and cold, disease, birth and death. But I experience none of these things because I am the soul. Classic answer. Therefore, your words are foolish. You are the fool. I am not a fool. You said I'm not dead despite living, but king, all people in this world are dead despite living. This body is dead, gentlemen. You know you're already dead. Skin, meat, bone, blood, stool, wound, hair, mucus, earwax. These are all made of dead things, inert things, but we are living. So king, you said, am I dead despite life? But king, everyone is dead despite me. This body is dead only because the presence of the soul. This body appears to be alive. But the king, I am not carrying anything. I am experiencing no difficulty at all. This journey has nothing to do with me whatsoever. You said, I am king and you are king and I am your servant. But king, you should know this is simply temporary. Today I am servant, you are king. Maybe tomorrow I will be king and you will be servant. Everything in this world is under the grip of the time factor. There's two types of destruction. One is when the whole creation is completely destroyed, but every moment there's a destruction. Kshanik Paraya. For example, this second now and now completely different. Every second everything is changing. Every second there's a dissolution. But the king, everything in this world is temporary. But still, if you think, really, But you are king and I am your servant. When you picked up the palanquin, then just tell me where I should go. If you are so foolish, you still think this after hearing my instructions. Then the king became astonished, because he was interested in spiritual life. But if we go to hear from central person, we will go in the palanquin. I am great, I am the king. But that is the king's foolishness. When we come to central persons, we should give up. I am doctor, I am low, I am wealthy, I am poor, I am communist, I am this, I am that, I am Chinese, Australian. Give up that material identity, we should give it up before we meet the devotee. So keen interest in spiritual life with no idea how to properly approach sadhana. But we cannot understand who is central person just by seeing, because eyes may cheat. We can understand by hearing. If when the king heard the instructions of Bharat, he became so much astonished. He immediately got off the palanquin and he said, I am not afraid of death. I can fight with anyone in this world. I am not afraid of any weapons. I am not afraid of anyone. I am afraid of any one thing making offense to the lotus feet of a saintly person. So the king fell at the feet of Bharat and begged, please forgive my offense, but I could not understand your words. You said there's no relationship between the body and the soul, but I do not agree with that. There must be some relationship. Just like if you make a fire, and you put a pot there, the fire makes the pot hot, the pot boils the water, and the hot water cooks the rice. So there is a relationship between the fire and the rice. Body feels pain, that goes to the senses, goes to the mind, goes to the intelligence, and then the soul thinks, I am burning, I am very cold. So there must be a relationship between the body and the soul. Then the Rugadaya answered, well, king, this is because you have no realization of the soul. So what is this word he spoke here? Many instructions he gave, I'm making very short. What is the condition of the soul in this world? So this is called, this chapter, 14 called Bhava-tabi. One time in morning walk, read it as Bhava-tabi, anyone know? The forest of material enjoyment. Buddha spoke about nirvana. You know a bit about Buddhism, sister? Nirvana. Nirvana means forest. So Buddha appreciated that this forest, this material existence gives so much suffering. But his solution was a little bit childish. He said, if you don't exist, you don't suffer. So the goal of Buddhism is non-existence. They say nirvana, sunnivada. But the problem is he thinks if you don't exist in this world, doesn't exist, then you cannot suffer. The problem is that if you don't exist, you can't be happy either. Because no one left to enjoy happiness. The idea of the Buddhist idea of emancipation, like non-existence. You can't be a doctor for, I have a headache. She pulls out a shotgun and blows off your head. No headache, no head, no headache. So Buddhism is a bit like that. No existence, no suffering. But no existence, you cannot be happy with it. No? So therefore Buddha talked about liberation, but what happens after liberation, he did not mention it. So after liberation comes the activities of the soul, the activities of liberation. So, first we should understand what is this world. It's hard to talk about suffering in the material world than in Hawaii. Like today we went to, what's that point we went to? Podla. All the people, very beautiful, nice sometimes, nice clothes. Sitting watching the surf, so people said, doesn't look like there's much suffering going on around here. Only an intelligent person can understand this suffering, just like a drunk person cannot understand their condition. Like if someone drinks a lot, they fall on the street unconscious, semi-conscious, and a dog comes and passes you in. The drunk man, he cannot understand, well, something very wrong. He cannot understand what is happening. So someone who is very foolish, very drunk, they cannot understand what is the suffering in this world. No? But if If someone who's not drunk sees that dog passing around in his face, oh my God, how terrible. So only someone who is a little bit free from material entanglement, they can understand this world as suffering. If the Bhagavatam says only two people are happy, I don't know, who are those two persons? The complete foolish person, he is very happy also. And the liberal itself, he is happy also. But everyone else in the middle must be suffering. So here's nice description of the material world. This world is like a forest. So Sukadeva Goswami Bharat explained there was one merchant. So merchant goes in the forest to collect many things. Like in India, he collects honey, he collects firewood, maybe collects animals. Many things to collect in the forest. Gold. So why the soul came to this world, Jonah? What do you think? Why did the soul come to the material world? Why did the soul come to this world? Why the soul is not in the kingdom of God?
We have to learn before we go there.
Why did the soul come here to learn the place of ignorance?
Because we have to learn. Because just a fresh soul is fresh. You need to learn and become a certain type of soul to be able to go to that.
All souls are perfect in humanity. All souls.
I'm thinking, a soul, to me, a soul needs to come to the learn. What is the first thing what is the soul
So that is the question. We cannot understand these things by material intelligence. We have to go to something higher, a higher authority.
What is material? Things? Material things?
Material experience cannot help us understand these type of things, because these things are beyond our experience.
Material, like a watch?
This life, material world, material existence. Material experience, material intelligence, material thoughts.
Of things, of one.
Anything.
It's just my third language. I'm just trying to understand.
Hare Krishna speak a fourth language. We speak a fourth language.
All that is matter.
Yeah, no. I just know materialistic in English means a person that likes...
You know Russian? Did you learn Russian at school?
Just by speaking Polish, I can understand everything. Italian, I can understand all Spanish and French. I'm done. I'm done.
Cualquier estructura que sea constituida por un contingente atómico.
Una estructura per costruire una cosa atómica. Sì, vedi? Sì? We understand each other.
Means some things are beyond us.
Yeah.
If you ask someone, what's your father's name?
Janusz.
How do you know he's your father?
Unless they did
Mother knows.
The hospital.
Mother knows.
To make sure that it's the same.
Mother knows who is our father.
Confirm that now. You look at the picture, oh my God, maybe. Where did they find my brother though? We found you somewhere. We found you somewhere else. We found you in Italy.
One time my sister came to my father's office and the girls were saying, oh, you look like your father. My father goes, yeah, whoever he was. So we cannot understand, even who is our father by our own experience. We have to go to our mother because she has experience. We have to go to authority. So while the soul is not in the kingdom of God, while the soul came to this world, we have to approach the Vedas. So soul has some independence, some free will. What's the difference between us and inert material thing? We have free will, he has no free will. So soul has free will to serve God or to seek his own pleasure. So all the souls who by misuse of independence chose to come to this world, therefore God makes the material world for them to go and fulfill their desires. So this world, 8,400,000 species of life, like a forest, 100 different types of plants and trees. So the material world, 900,000 type of fish, 2 million type of plants, 2,100,000 type of insect, bacteria, starving locks of criminal Sankaribiko, Pakshinanda selection, 1 million type of birds, 1,400,000 type of humans, 8,400,000 different species of life. So this world is like a forest, and the soul is like a merchant. Like a merchant goes in the forest and is looking how to make a profit, how to get something from this world. So what happens? As he enters the forest, he loses the path, which is the path by whom he forgets, he becomes lost. Immediately he's attacked by 6 enemies, because he's come here to collect 6 criminals. 6 highway robbers assaulted in the path and plunder all his wealth. Then 6 more also come, they also steal what's left. So what does that mean? We have these 6 senses: sight, smelling, tasting, hearing, touch, and the mind. These are 5 down India, and the mind makes 6. These 6 senses are all stealing our wealth. Means whatever we have in our possession, we waste through the senses. Eyes try to see fame, they steal everything. Fame attracts us, steals everything we have. We try to touch soft things, sense of touch steals what's left. Tongue tries to experience taste, but also steals everything. By sound by ear we try to enjoy sound, but also steals something. Mind also. So really he said on the 6 senses steal everything we have. And also 6 enemies: lust, greed, anger, enviousness, madness, and illusion. So these 12 enemies, these 12 obstacles steal all the wealth of the souls. Somebody cannot control their senses, everything they have they lose. And Bill Clinton, remember him? So much power, he had so much respect. And what happened? Some guy who was young enough to be his granddaughter, he could not control himself, he lost everything. So, he entered the forest. He struggles very hard to collect many things. But these 12 criminals, these 12 thieves steal everything. In the forest of material existence, the uncontrolled senses are like plunderers. The conditioned soul may earn some money, but unfortunately the uncontrolled senses plunder through sense gratification. Like always, so hard people have to work. But who's taking the result of their work? The 6 enemies, the 6 senses. These senses are called thieves because they make one spend his money unnecessarily for seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, and touching, and desiring. Thus, all his wealth is spent. Just like in the forest, there are many dangerous animals. So in this world, the dangerous animals come in the form of sons and daughters, wives, husbands. Just like, are you women who still take money from your parents? If you have any problem, where do you get it for money?
No.
Oh, come on. No experience, wasn't it? Yeah, how much I sucked off my profile.
I got cut off when I was
Come on, out of you now. All the person. Means someone collects so much wealth. And who takes it all? Children? Children, wife, even though he's very careful not to raise one cent, he cannot understand how wife and children are taking everything from him. If it says wife, children, family members, relatives, any problem? No. Criminal. Costas, how are you? You're so late. So, nice to see you. The third big sheet is saying the miles always the first one. Okay, everything good with you? Okay, take a seat. Whenever you're comfortable. Samsung. Forest of material existence, 5th canto. Bhavatari. Gruesome subject matter. We just saying like Sukadeva was pictured bad magic spun into soup too. Kino Hubina. What is this ocean of material existence? The forest of material existence. We spoke a bit about Buddhism, the concept of nirvana. We talked about getting out of the forest, but once you get out of the forest, you still have to go home. Only getting out of material existence is not enough. Then you have to achieve your real home, your real abode. So, like a merchant enters a forest, he tries to achieve some wealth. But what happens? If he collects anything, immediately the 6 plunders, the 6 criminals take everything with him. That is the 6 uncontrolled senses. And like these people working so hard, but who gets the benefit? Genitals get the benefit. Tongue gets the benefit. Ears get the benefit. Eyes get the benefit. And he's left with nothing. So like in the forest, there's many dangerous animals. So relatives, family members, husband and wife, children, they're like jackals and dogs. Of course, we don't need these things in family reunion. But they plunder the wealth of everyone. At the time of death, ultimately you get everything. When you die, you cannot take 1 rupee with you. Zloty, you cannot take 1 zloty with you. Nada. When you die, everything stays here. Who takes it all? The relatives take it. Just like vultures. Circle around the corpse. Thus, even though wife and children are so dear to him, you cannot understand why stealing everything from him. Like a herdsman tries very hard to protect his sheep, but the tigers will take everything. The family materialist tries very hard to protect his wealth. The family members steal it. In the same way that a gardener, every year he digs up the field, to dig up the weeds, but every year the weeds come back. Even though he suffers so many reverses, he cannot free himself from material desires because the seed of desire is still in his heart. In the forest, he tried to take rest, but he could not, because so many mosquitoes and flies, especially in the forest, especially in the ocean. If you try to sleep and even 1 mosquito is there, how much it makes your life miserable? So in the forest of material existence, constant disturbance from mosquitoes, gnats, insects, what is that? Sukadeva Goswami explains. Envious people give so much disturbance. What's your job, Yanni? What's your job? Your career?
I do music.
Music. How much envy in the music world? How much envy in the music world?
Envy everywhere. Envy is everywhere.
Even if you work in McDonald's, the next burger figure is envious of you?
Yeah.
Where can you go? So like mosquitoes constantly give disturbance, you cannot take rest, so envious people in this world give so much misery. Just when he became very thirsty, just like the deer in the forest, he's very thirsty, where is water? He looks into the desert and he sees some mirage. He thinks that is water. So what did the foolish traveler do? He gives up the forest and runs into the desert. No matter how far he runs into the desert, what happens to the water? Always goes further and further away. And people in this world, they're thinking, I'll be happy. They take birth. Little consciousness comes at 3-4 years old. He thinks, I can go to school, I'll be so happy. He goes to kindergarten. When I go to big school, I'll become happy. How was high school? I'm not remember. The child thinks, when I go to the next class, I'll be happy. Because he's always been beaten by the bigger boys, the bigger children. He'll steal his lunch money. He thinks, when I become bigger, I can play sports, I can enjoy more. He's always thinking in the future will be happiness, in the future will be happiness. He goes to high school. I saw so much misery, homework, problems with the teachers. Remember, we forgot all these things. You do it in school? Come on. You also get it out of it? No? You're bottom of the food chain.
I got a lot of heart now.
No? We forget all these things. Last life, how much we gave to others, no? Anyway, he's always thinking. High school things, when I get to high school, I'll be happy. There'll be girls, there'll be many things. Then he gets there, that's not so great. He thinks, God, this high school is so hellish. Where can I go out? If I go to college, I'll be happy. He goes to college. But also so much work. He thinks, when I get a job, I'll be happy. Finally, I'll have some money. And he has to work like a dog. Work like a slave. He works, not satisfied. If I get a wife, I'll be happy. Then what happens out of evil? Regret it.
I'm not satisfied.
Because he's...
But I'm more satisfied than this, you know?
But we all have so many desires. If a desire is not satisfied, we become frustrated. Everyone has desires.
But not too many. You come a little bit, maybe. But that's a lot of desires. Use everything.
Most 99% of people are like that.
Different way.
Yes, it's like that. How can you get a child?
You do one thing like that, one thing, you do everything else like that. I say you do that for one thing,
Like a dog chasing his tail.
yeah, your whole life you will look like that.
And we see 99, maybe you're different. I hope so. Don't feel committed to hear this. When the person hears this, they think, oh God, this is so miserable. They are confirmed by the get-go. And now he thinks that I can get a woman, and what did happen? He gets one, oh my God, so much suffering. She thinks he's Mr. Perfect, I'm looking for Mr. Perfect, and he's looking also for the perfect woman. We live together with so many desires. He thinks he'll fulfill all my desires. Watch him some more. He'll fulfill all my desires, and he's thinking she will fulfill all my desires. If two selfish people come together, how they can satisfy each other. So much violence, so much misery. I can tell you some stories I saw my own parents, and that's another way. And I'm thinking, I do this, I'll be happy. Huh?
It will go off track.
We saw these things, we all see these things in our own parents, but we never think I'll be different. We think I'm different, I'll be successful. And now, why we're not happy, we don't have a child. It gets a little bad women. So much more misery.
Then you trouble really begins.
And you just enter the ballpark. People rather have children, this will bring happiness. One child more enough, another one, another. It becomes so much, when the parents think, God, when my children leave home, then I'll be happy.
Every day.
I need this, I need that. Like the jackals always feeding off the corpse. Sucking the blood. I don't know.
You want to see my ones? That's cars.
Capel, how do you Capel mode? And then it's like that. We're always like that. We're all like this. We think the parents will give us all enjoyment. And when parents cannot cough up the money anymore, they become sick of them, detest them, hate them. And the parents think, when the children leave home, then they'll be happy. And especially in America, first you retired 60, now 63, 65. Like the deer chasing the noise. When he gets retired, but he's so old he cannot enjoy. Finished. Cannot see, cannot digest, cannot taste. Has to take Viagra. When I was a kid on the road, one guy worked 65 years. He worked to get his pension. He bought the Winnebago. The guy went home, driving off from the sunset. First night he was trying to park the screen, heart attack. Yes. I'll retire and I'll be happy. And the government is chasing, he has not enough funds. And this one, like the deer chasing the mirage, like the man in the forest chasing the water, but water never comes. Death comes, there's so many desires, so many attachments. Who will look after my children, my grandchildren? What about my properties, my business? He died with so much attachment, so much misery. God said he wants to tell his family members, but he cannot speak. He dies in great pain, just like the person. Sometimes he's wandering in the forest, one whirlwind comes, he becomes blind, he cannot see anything. Especially when he becomes attached to sex life, he cannot understand anything, what is good, what is bad. Every day you read the newspaper, divorce, and again married, again divorce, again married. What people don't do, you read every day, how many murders every day. When sex desire comes very powerful, you cannot think anymore what is good or bad, what is proper. Becomes shameless. Just like a person blinded by a dust storm. Thus the living entity becomes completely mad and runs in this forest of material enjoyment. In order to enjoy sex life especially, when he commits many bad activities, even though he does secretly in the hotel, he thinks no one watching, so many witnesses are there. Daylight is there, nighttime is there, the demigods are watching. The Supreme Lord is Super Soul, he is watching. He thinks no one's seeing, but everyone is seeing. Thus the conditioned soul sometimes personally appreciates the futility of sense gratification. He sometimes considers material enjoyment to be full of miseries. However, due to strong bodily conception, his memory is destroyed, and again he runs after the same thing. Just as an animal runs after mirage in the desert. Many years ago I went to visit my father. We were walking, and there was one lady in front of us, long girl with a miniskirt. So he was watching her like this. So I said, be careful, Father, get way to hell. And he goes, if that's hell, come on, hell. That's even though experiences reverses again and again, he never gives up, keeps chasing. Like there's so many old people, and the German embassy in Thailand. So many old Germans can only learn, so they go to Thailand, they take that Viagra, and what happens? Hundreds of Germans die every year. Imagine how many Americans? Bangkok. Imagine how many Russians kick about the world in hundreds and thousands. Still cannot satisfied. Always enjoy, want to enjoy. Like the beauty anywhere in the world. Shameless. Sometimes he meets many opposition in the form of government agents, IRS, taxation, police, government servants, constantly harass him. They would like the chirping of crickets. And no time you can, if there's one cricket in your tent, frog, whole night he'll keep you awake. In the same way, people experience so much troubles from government officials and others. Sometimes he performs some good activities, he hopes by that he will enjoy. But when they are finished, he suffers so much. Just like if you do a lot of charity, you get a lot of wealth back. Who's the richest man in the world? One of them? Bill Gates. Right? You know why? He gives more charity than anyone else in the world. So much comes back to him. When you have wealth, you're very happy. And when you lose it, what happens? You become so much distressed. Just like you have a lot of food, very good, and when you have no food, what do you do? That time the person who falls in the material takes some poison fruit. Means in order to gain wealth, he associates with low-class persons. He cheated more, and he suffers even more. Such wealth and riches cannot help him. They are like poison fruit trees. Sometimes to mitigate the stress in the forest of the material world, the conditioned soul receives cheap blessings from atheists. He loses all intelligence in their association. Just like a person in a forest fire, he runs, he sees a river, he jumps in the river, but that river is very shallow. What happens? He cracks his head in this thing. That's in order to get relief, people go to bogus incarnations, bogus slaves, bogus teachers. The think this person will give relief, this person will give relief, but they simply steal all their wealth. Because Lord Shiva said to Parvati, their hierarchy finds spiritual master in Kali Yuga. And Shiva said, Guru Bhagavad Shanti Shishya Santaka Haraka, Sadguru Dilabade Shishya Vipaka Haraka. Although in Kali Yuga there is no shortage of gurus, they are expert at plundering their disciples. They plunder them for their money, even for sex life. They take away their children, take away their real estate, take away everything, and that person is left with nothing. So such a guru of many will find like that in Kali Yuga. But Sadguru Dilabade, but Sadguru is very rare. He also takes away everything from disciple. And he's Sadguru, proper guru. He also takes away everything from disciple. What does he take away now? Lust, greed, illusion, lamentation, fear, all those things he takes away. No one wants a guru like that in Kali Yuga. So, sometimes we realize that this world is so much distress. What does he do? He jumps in the river. But that river is very shallow. He breaks his head. Thus, to mitigate distress from the faster material world, the conditioned soul receives cheap blessings from atheists. He loses all intelligence and all association. It's exactly like jumping in a shallow river. The result, one simply breaks his head. He's not able to, isn't it? If it is very shallow, you still get burnt, as well as making a headache. Thus he suffers in both ways, from cracking his head on the stone and from the burning of the forest fire. The misguided conditioned soul also approaches so-called sadhus and swamis who preach against the principles of the Vedas. He does not receive benefit from them, either in the present or in the future. Prabhupada said a great thing. One time he said, I have no desire to go back to the spiritual world. I just want to stay right after birth in this material world and reveal the cheaters, the cheating swamis, the cheating incarnation. If he cannot exploit others, he cheats his own father and brothers and sisters. So many times a week, so much fighting in the world. Even though his relatives may only possess a little bit, he plunders that. If he cannot acquire things from his father's son and relatives, he gives them all type of trouble. Thus, family life is exactly like a blazing forest fire. There is not the least happiness, and one becomes implicated more and more in unhappiness. Bhagavatam says, men and women come together to become free from distress and increase happiness. But what happens on the other? The exact opposite. Distress increases, and he cannot achieve his goals. In household life, there is nothing favorable for eternal happiness. Being implicated in a family life, the conditioned soul is burned by the fire of lamentation, hankering, and illusion. When he loses something, he hankers, he laments. When he desires something he cannot achieve, he hankers. And in the middle of his lament, he is an illusion. So, hankering, illusion, and fear. These three things are there. Thus he is burned like ants on a log in every direction. Sometimes in the forest there may be ghosts. These are the form of government men. Some others like that. They take away all the wealth of the traveler. How much tax we have to pay? And today we filled up our tank, how much? How much of that is going for tax? That, income tax, this, that. We have plans. Huh? And real estate tax, this tax. And what they do with it? Who's controlling them? They're stuffing their pockets.
30% goes to the taxes.
40%. And the rest, what about VAT? You have VAT in the world? Yeah, yes. Real estate tax. Spending a whole lot just to pay the taxes. Thus, like you need a ghost in the fire, these are like government officials. Being bereft of life, even if you keep money in the bank, they take so much. Even if you make a little interest, the government steals that also. Thus he loses all enthusiasm, he becomes helpless. When we talk about your cat today, here it says here. Someone produces, so imagines his father or grandfather has again come in the form of his son or grandson. In this way you imagine some happiness also. In family life you have to do so many responsibilities. Are you married yet?
I don't know.
No, really.
Practicing.
Never married, but always.
Always. I'm never married, but always married.
Always married. Never married, but always married.
We're almost married.
Should marry. Good thing to do. And how much money for marriage? So how much you spend? I mean, properly they spend so much. India, Italy, these traditional countries, father spends the wealth he's collected for years for the marriage of his daughter or son.
It would be more motivated if we had a family that was going to make a big part of it.
No, everything lost in this present day. It's no traditions, no time. But anyway, if you want to do marriage, how much it costs? And when someone dies, how much does it cost to do a funeral these days?
The coffin costs money.
There you go.
The burial costs money. The place at the cemetery costs money.
Even when you burn and throw the ashes, that also costs money. So marriage, birth of children.
And that's why exactly money has no importance. Because you can have it all, and it doesn't matter. And you can have nothing, it doesn't matter.
Mine also dies. And everyone also dies. Anyway, to a family ceremony like marriage, school, prom, funerals even, baptisms. Here it says like marriage and Upanayam, Brahmin thread. So much wealth. These are like big hills, like the forest, traveling in the forest, she's traveling across these big huge mountains. Especially in India, when the daughter married a daughter, the father has to give so much wealth. There was one man who was trying for his son, 16 daughters he had, one after another. And he finally had the next week, I tried one more time, I was also dead. And when he called her, boss. He laughed, no, boss. So imagine how many mountains he has to cross. These are obstacles. The duties of family man are very extensive and troublesome to execute. They are compared to big hills which one must cross. The person designed to cross these ritualistic ceremonies certainly feels pain, like the piercing of thorns and pebbles. Injured, but not injured by attempting to cross a hill. Thus the conditioned soul suffers unlimitedly. I mean, when you have children, what's the first thing you have to think? What about it? When they told me that, I couldn't believe it. She gave birth and she was asking the doctor, so much pain. Doctor, is the boy a girl? It's a girl, then she was crying. Who will marry her? Anyway, example is there. If children got married and parents always in anxiety, when the grandchildren are coming, Therefore, some days when one becomes hungry and thirsty, he becomes very angry, distressed. If he experiences distress, he takes it out on his wife and children. He beats them or whatever he does. Thus, he loves them so much, but he beats them and he feels even more misery. Why do such nonsense? Especially when the police come and they're restraining order. Thus, he moves in the forest. Sometimes he's grabbed by the big python. What's the big python in there? For 100 bonus points? Come on. Like a python grabs you strongly, chokes the life out of you, you become unconscious. What's the big python? Come on. Sleep. How much of our life we lose by sleep? How much you sleep a day?
Night, every 2 days. I do every 2 days. So
You sleep every 2 days.
I sleep more every 2 days. So 5 hours one night, 7 hours the next night, or 8 hours the next night. Or like 4 hours one night, sometimes even 3 hours if I sleep 8 hours. So
You need
to
to
make up for what you did. If you have too much energy, then I don't sleep. I use the time.
But he has a lot of energy already.
I mean, the further our life goes, 43% of the people taxman takes like 43% is taxed by sleep.
You have great dreams when you're sleeping, and those mean something. Sometimes.
Thus, my dear king, sleep is exactly like a python. persons who run into fast and mature life, always devoured by the python of sleep. Being bitten by this python, they always remain in the darkness of ignorance. They're like dead bodies thrown into a forest, where the conditioned soul cannot understand what is happening. Sometimes he is bitten by envious enemies, like a person in forest is bitten by snakes and scorpions. Sometimes, I never thought this word was evil till about 2 or 3 years ago. What people feel, what people say, so terrible. Thus, so much intrigue, so much politics, he gets a position, he is taken down by being bitten by a snake. Sometimes he's in so much anxiety, he cannot even sleep properly. Many people have that, right? So much thinking, so many problems, and so much distress. They have to take medication. Srila Prabhupada told a story. There was one businessman who was always in anxiety. What business to do, where to keep his money, how to invest. This man hasn't paid me, he's cheating. He couldn't sleep at night. So he went to Kenya, his Guru. I cannot sleep at night. And Guru said, just hear Harikatha, come in here. Harikatha. So in Harikatha, the topics of Krishna are there, and no other topics. Such a pleasing atmosphere there. So he fell asleep when he was snoring in class. The other disciples were like, hey, wake up. And he said, no, don't disturb him. Medicine has been applied. Thus he cannot sleep. He becomes more and more distressed. He loses intelligence more and more. He becomes like a blind man. Somebody who suffers too much becomes like blind. Sometimes he's not satisfied with one life. Thus, he tries to, or he's not satisfied with what he has, that time he tries to steal some girlfriend from another, or he steals some other's property. Just like a traveler who works, sometimes falls into a hole, sometimes he's arrested, beaten, put in jail. Thus, learned scholars and translators always condemn the materialistic path of life, because it is the original source and breeding ground of material miseries both in this life and the next. Stealing or cheating another person out of his money, the conditioned soul somehow or other keeps it in his possession and escapes punishment, but it's stolen by someone else. You might be here, drug dealers illegally make money, then another drug dealer rips them off, and someone rips him off. In this way, wealth does not stay in one place. It constantly moves from one person to another. Like hair, right? Out of the sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't have it.
Most of the time we don't.
Some have it. Wealth is never lost, it's just redistributed. He suffers constantly from the threefold miseries. By the way, there's also a positive side to life, but this is just, tonight we're just discussing this. It's not even touching about devotion. Because unless we understand some of the futility and the misery of material life, we don't even think about getting out of it. So sometimes scripture also stresses the negative thing, and tonight this happens to be that. But also there's positive side to life also. This is the negative side of spiritual life, why I should engage in devotion.
That's tomorrow night, right?
That's tomorrow night.
Yes.
But I was thinking many years now, no one speaks about it about these things. Oh, so like 5th canto of Roman Catholic. I'm really missing out on Irish planets for it. That's how much I love you. Threefold miseries of life. Adhyatmic, Adhidaivic, Adhibautic. There's so much, like even in Hawaii, people have so much food, but still people are so much unhappy. Why? Suffering which comes from their own mind. And so many people even kill themselves. Why people take intoxication? Why people take drugs?
Your worst enemy can only be yourself.
True.
In your life, the only thing that's going to stop you is going to be yourself.
Uncontrolled mind. The worst enemy.
What are you asking me?
Why people take or drink, and they take drugs and drink wine? Life is so miserable. How to get out of it?
Relax.
So that is suffering caused by your own mind. No one else is getting in trouble, but your own mind is getting in trouble. How to get relief? Drink or something. Adhyatmic. Adhibautic. Others give suffering. neighbors, police, etc. Sometimes demigods give suffering in the form of too hot, too cold. We went to yesterday, two people were kissing on the ledge, and one guy tried to knock them in, one guy drowned. So these threefold miseries are always burning everyone, giving so much suffering. Thus, as far as transactions, if we cheat someone just a little bit, he becomes your enemy for life. $5, $10, you'll never forget. Thus, in materialistic life, there are many difficulties I have mentioned. And all of these are insurmountable. We always think someone else will solve the problems. We think the politicians will solve. They cannot solve. The people of Musa, the police will solve. The government will solve. Our relatives will solve. Our wife will solve. But the problems of this world never cease because they are unlimited. Guru says, don't waste your time solving the problems of this world. The problems of this world are like an ocean, like waves in an ocean. Like someone spends all their energy just to cross one wave, but he doesn't know behind it are thousands of more coming.
It says also that the more you try to solve your problem,
the more you become entangled.
the more the problem increases.
Then it just float up and down, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Sukhi Bhai, Sukhi. When you're happy or sad, don't forget the name of Krishna. So, these problems are insurmountable. In addition, there are difficulties arising from so-called happiness, distress, attachment, hate, fear, false prestige, illusion, madness, lamentation, bewilderment, greed, envy, enmity, insult, hunger, thirst, tribulations, disease, birth, old age, and death. And all these combine to give the soul a miserable experience in the forest of material life. Especially becomes attracted to wife or husband until he loses his intelligence completely as to the goal of life. He spends all his energy just to provide for her with a suitable apartment, but he becomes entangled in the activities within. This way he loses all his intelligence and is enthroned in the dark pit of material existence. I read this verse today, very amazing. The personal weapon of the Supreme Lord Krishna is called Hari Chakra, the wheel of time. You know that? Amazing. It expands from the beginning of the atoms up to the time of the dissolution of the universe. It controls all activities and everyone in it. The wheel of time is always moving and expanding the lives of all living entities. Thus one constantly changes from infancy to childhood to youth to maturity and old age and end of life. It is impossible to check the wheel of time. This wheel is very exacting because it is the personal weapon of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes the conditioned soul, fearing the approach of death, wants to worship someone who can save him from danger. Yet he does not care for the Supreme Lord. Instead, he takes shelter of man-made God, described in unauthorized scriptures. Such gods are like buzzards, vultures, herons, and crows. Immediate death is like the attack of a lion. Neither vultures, buzzards, crows, or herons can save one from death. When he takes shelter of unauthorized man-made gods cannot be saved from the clutches of death. Just like the man in the desert, the vultures are circling where we cannot save them. The pseudo-swamis, yogis, and incarnations who do not believe in the Supreme Lord are known as pasandis or offenders. They themselves are fallen and cheated because they do not know the real path of spiritual advancement, and whoever goes to them is certainly cheated in return. When one of us cheated, he sometimes takes shelter of the real fellows of the Vedic principles, who teach them how to worship the Supreme Lord according to Vedic rituals. However, when they're able to stick to these principles, these rascals fall down again and again, and associate amongst low-class persons who are expert in making arrangements for sex life. Such persons are like monkeys. In the forest, many monkeys. Bhav described Buddha's monkeys. No? Just like monkey jumps from one tree to the next, such persons jump from one woman to the next, or someone from one man to the next. Many Sudras. Sounds like Hawaii. Pretty good description. Without hesitating, they live and live freely like monkeys, not knowing the goal of life. They simply look at the face of each other and feel happiness. They are always engaged in materialistic activities. They will completely forget that one day their small lifespans will be finished, and they will be degraded in the cycle of material existence. As a monkey jumps from one tree to another, the conditioned soul jumps from one body to another. As the monkey is captured by the hunter and unable to get out of the cage, the conditioned soul being captivated by momentary sex pleasure becomes attached to different bodies and becomes encaged in materialistic life. Fifth counter. Sometimes he has no money. He cannot even find a place to sleep or to sit. That time, unable to provide himself with the necessities of life, he steals. When he cannot get what he wants, he laments constantly. He receives insults from others, he becomes very morose. Just like if you have no money, you have to beg. And how many people say, beg, get a job, loser. How much you have to tell us about? Sometimes even enemies get married to fulfill each other's desires. Such marriages do not last long. The people are separated again and again by divorce or other means. Thus the path of material existence is very dangerous. He is separated from his family members by death or by other means. Sometimes he weeps, sometimes he is happy, and sometimes he sings in joy. In this way, he becomes entangled and forgets his relationship with the Supreme Lord. And he reverses farther and farther down the dangerous path of material existence. Without accepting the path of devotion, one cannot get out of this fast of the material life. The conclusion is that no one can be happy in material life, they must take to Krishna consciousness. Saintly persons are very kind to all. They control their senses and mind, and they easily attain the path of liberation. But people are unfortunate, they cannot associate with such devotees. Raghunath would say, no? Can you come to the feast and see that? Again, 7 or 8 people. Well, we don't have money. No. Isn't it terrible? 7 or 8. Of course, you just... Why are you doing that? You wait for time to go to Houston. You know, it's a time of how to stop everything. When they're going, then just go on. Terrible, no? Funny for Prashad. Pathetic. So sad.
30 people only in the temple.
7 for class.
7 for class, which is worse.
Right?
Yeah, that's alright.
Listen, we don't need that now, just help, it's okay. Dude, sounds like you need all the help you can get. What a sad thing, yeah? Anybody that can be liberated by hearing instructions like this, people don't really come to hear. Very sad thing, yeah? What is the first in the true world? Anyway, so Bhagavad spoke. We'll wrap it up tonight. Too much misery in one night is not enough.
You need to say something positive.
Anyway, until you understand this, how can you practice anything positive?
I'm just saying.
Unless you understand what the alternatives are, how will take the positive things seriously?
What's amazing is that all of this is stuff
This is our fifth counter.
that no one
wants to hear. I don't care. But for first is negative side. So reproduction, don't first naturally be honest. Once you understand these things, how will you take the positive seriously?
There's no need and pleasure. First homework, then go play.
Great. Try hard out. Fifth candle, 10th candle is there, the first candle, first 9 candles. Yeah, what you think? No? Sukadeva Goswami doesn't know anything, no? If we really realize these things, how much seriously we take the chanting of the holy names. If we really understood any of this. We think, not proud of this, I'm not proud of it, okay? I can go, don't even have to go to class, I just go for the show. Really, Sri Churka Maharaj used to say, we try to fill up a bucket, but your bucket is full of holes. So much work to fill the bucket, but holes are there, everything is lost. So unless you plug the holes, means so much work means sudden bhajan. Means so much sudden bhajan, but holes are there, everything is just lost. Shamshini, what happened to you? So many holes, no? We have to plug the holes. Sri Churka Maharaj said, what kind of student you want to embrace Krishna? Krishna will run from you. First become clean, then go and embrace Krishna. So, my dear king, the activities of Bhavad Maharaj are very wonderful. He gave up everything difficult for others to give up. He gave up his kingdom, his wife, his family. His opulence was so great even the demigods desired it. They envied him. He renounced everything because he was attracted to the beauty, opulence, reputation, knowledge, strength, and renunciation of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna is so attractive that one can give up all desirable things for his sake. Indeed, even liberation is considered insignificant for those whose minds are attracted to the loving service of the Supreme Lord. Even in the body of a deer, Bhavad Maharaj did not forget the Supreme Lord. But when he was giving up the body of the deer, he loudly prayed to Krishna. Krishna is sacrifice personified to give the results of ritualistic, fruitive activities. He is the protector of the religious system, the personification of mystic yoga, the source of all knowledge, the control of the entire creation, the super soul in every living entity. He is beautiful and attractive. I am putting this body, offering obeisances to him, and hoping that I may perpetually engage in his transcendent loving service. Saying this, he gave up the body of the deer. Sukadeva Goswami spoke. Okay, we're going to hear this Shravan 5. Every chapter of the Bhagavatam is some result of hearing. Just in case Shamaswami thought it was useless. So hear what Sukadeva Goswami says.
No, that wasn't the implication of looking at you listen to it.
Okay, very good. So anyway, here the result of every chapter, Sukadeva Goswami gives some blessing. Chaitanya Charitamrita also the same thing. The devotee is interested in hearing and chanting, regularly discuss the pure activities of Bhavad Maharaj and praise his activities. If one submissively hears and chants about the all-auspicious Maharaj Bhavad, one's lifespan and material opulence is certain to increase. One can become very famous and easily attain promotion to the heavenly planets. Or he may attain elevation by merging in the existence of the Lord. Whatever one desires may be attained simply by hearing, chanting, and glorifying the activities of Maharaj Bhavad. In this way one can fulfill all his material and spiritual desires. One does not have to ask anything else for these things, for simply by studying the life of Maharaj Bhavad, one can attain everything desired. So by hearing the instructions of Bhavad, who cannot achieve that perfection. Even though hearing, who cannot say, Guru Lord, even though hearing, I cannot feel. So what was the last instruction? Who cannot tapasya nadati, not to your meal, by hakri haba, and bachanda samaya jalabha surya bina mahapada rajurishika. Okay? This platform of love of God cannot be achieved by deity worship, by following Varna Ashram, by performing austerities like remaining submerged in the neck in cold water in winter, or meditating in the open ground in the middle of 4 fires in summer. These things can be achieved only if one who decorates his body with the fruit dust of a liberated personality. So, hearing instructions of Bhavad Maharaj, who cannot give up all his foolishness, must be got a good destination. Some say that Dia, that Bharat became attached to, that came again is the Huguenot. Some say that. Any questions? Mother, still alive? Any questions? Diana, any questions?
I was just thinking of the deer.
Huh?
I was thinking with the deer, you know how you turned into the deer and everything. I had this chihuahua that I loved so much, and he died. And for me, it was the most beautiful thing of life.
If you die young,
So when I die, maybe I will turn into a chihuahua.
let's hope not. Better get the time you die from the Christian, then you go to him.
Only one question I have,
Yes.
and it's something you said earlier on. It sounded as if the statement you made that the souls that come to this earth are making a choice to come to this earth. So they, in a sense, they are attracted to the material earth, and so they are not attracted, they would not choose to come here. Or is it they are coming here to be in the theater of life and learning, or is it outside of birth and death, they decide, my next birth, I want to be in the earth again? Or how is that?
Far down, the soul is beyond birth and death. It's like a neutral state. And for the original place the soul comes from is called Tatasta. Of course, we're using material language to describe something which is impossible to understand. So originally the soul has choice, just like a fish. A fish can see both banks of the river. Because the soul is inherently spiritual, he can go back to the spiritual world or to the material world. Like a fish can go to this bank or that bank. So a fish has full independence to go here and there as he likes. And from one side he glances, he sees the Lord in his eternal souls, he sees the material world and the forest of material existence. And because he has independence, he chooses to come here. As soon as the soul chooses to come to the material world, immediately he's captured by illusion. And he's put in the cycle of 8,400,000 species. Answer your question? But his fall down is beyond time.
Some of the Kashta souls choose just to go straight.
Some also choose, who has good fortune, and choose to go directly to the Lord. They never come to this material world.
Actually, if they read the book,
If I read the guidebook of the fifth canto, I know it was Anyway, those who come sometime, anyhow we're here, we should realize some mistake with them. That is the force of material world. How to get out? Mahajana Yanaka, we cannot manufacture our own process for escaping the forest. There's only one way to follow the footsteps of those who already escaped. Mahajana Yanaka, just follow those footsteps, follow the instructions.
Do we have to wait until the pure devotee comes into our lives, or can we actually seek him out?
Anybody comes to us and follow his instructions, his books. By reading those books, one may develop a very strong desire. When do we appear devotee? So not right anyhow.
Like, do we have to actually go and seek, or do we just have it?
Well, one thing is there, like Ashikshaguru Madhusudana Maharaj says, we think we are searching for Guru, but we find Guru. That means, if you can see Guru, that means you're more than Guru. So he says, we can never find Guru, Guru finds us. We can have some desire. He says, we think we are searching for Guru, but what if Guru finds us? There's so much coming. My Prabhupada travel everywhere, looking for people, come. We purchase this. What's the price? Just surrender. Just faith. What do you think about the order? We find Guru or Guru find you? We don't even know what we're looking for. How can we find? Some desires that nothing might catch. Shamshani, any questions? You'll make you happy by speaking positive sides. Somebody asked me that many times, what should I speak about tonight? And she said, not great answer. I said, okay, we do 15. That'd be nice.
Well, I think what happened is that twice yesterday you hear that, oh, there is no mystery in Hawaii. So, no mystery in Hawaii, so, it's a little bit more difficult to be strict and to do sadhana because you have to choose between, sense gratification and Krishna, and you have to...
Sense gratification is not free, it has such a place.
Yeah, with that we can see that, through so many lifetimes, maybe we haven't get eaten by a python in one lifetime, maybe not every lifetime.
I did not be eaten by a python. Sleep.
But sometimes, maybe not every lifetime we've been cheated by our parents or this or that, but every lifetime there is always constantly suffering. And the point is that in the material world there is mystery at every point. I mean, today we went for a little walk, Yapa walk, and we saw a patient of mine sitting, he's an old man, and he is left home. He has to go there to have some peace because there is so much noise in his apartment. So anyhow, in about 10 minutes, he just kept telling us about the miserable condition that he's going through. His wife's mother has dementia, and she has paranoia, and hates the daughter, and the daughter hates her, and she's almost died, but she doesn't die, and it costs them $12,000 a month to keep her alive, even if they don't want her to be alive. And that is miserable. $12,000 a month because to have old people in a retirement facility when they have to take care of themselves all day or night, it's $12,000 a month care, and it's not covered by insurance. And they cannot die. You can't kill yourself either. So this is against the law. You can't really kill them. But the man was very worried because they really want her to be dead because she's horrible. And she was horrible all her life. But he doesn't have to pay. When she becomes the word of the government.
Really?
So he is making a choice.
You don't have to pay.
He's not legally bound to pay for his mother-in-law's care. There's no legal reason.
Mother-in-law?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Not even your mother-in-law, right? Not even your... There's no law.
There's no law, yeah.
He's doing it on his own choice.
There is no law, but...
Maybe he doesn't have his wife tells him to do it, but there's no law.
Somebody still has some hope out there. You still have some hope.
Anyway, Maharaji, can I say something?
Sure.
I was in a phone conversation with Miri Haridas about that.
Sure.
So he wanted me to let everybody know, for his number, about the whole